Hello, my name is Mike McLean, and I'm going to discuss a utility available to you in Windows 10 and 11 called Windows Sandbox. But first, a little background. What is Windows? Windows is an operating system that controls your access to your computer's hardware and resources, memory, storage, and so on. All hardware access must go through the operating system. Malware fools the operating system into allowing access to computer resources, allowing it to download other malware, ads, and so on. This can be mitigated by using a virtual machine on Windows. So, what is a virtual machine? A virtual machine is a separate instance of a second operating system, which is called a guest, running in Windows, the host, just like a program. It's often used with an operating system like Linux, so it doesn't have to be installed directly with Windows. A virtual machine cannot access computer resources directly. It has to go through the host operating system. This prevents malware from accessing computer resources directly, protecting the host system. And a virtual machine can be saved and turned off and restored later. So what is Windows Sandbox? Windows Sandbox is a specialized version of a virtual machine. A sandbox allows you to run and test new software or visit dodgy websites without risking your computer. Any malware encountered in the sandbox cannot escape the sandbox. And once you turn the sandbox off, all files that it was using are destroyed. This makes a sandbox great for evaluating new software and websites. But first, you need to check to see if your system is Sandbox compatible. Windows Sandbox is only available in Windows versions 10 and 11 in the Professional or Enterprise editions. Also, your computer's processor must be able to perform virtualization. And if you have a computer that's just been purchased in the last few years, it probably can handle it. Also, Windows Sandbox is not installed by default and must be installed manually. This demonstration will illustrate how to check, install, and run Windows Sandbox. To determine what version of Windows you're running, go to Start, Settings, System, and About all the way down at the bottom. And about halfway down the screen, you'll see Windows Specifications. The first entry is Edition, Windows 10 Pro. So my system can handle using Windows Sandbox. Now I need to make sure that my CPU can actually handle doing virtualization. To get there, I'm going to bring up Task Manager. So I'm going to do a Control-Alt-Delete. That brings up a list of things I can do. I select Task Manager. And under the Task Manager, I'm going to the Performance tab. The first thing selected is CPU. On the right, about halfway down, I'll see Virtualization Enabled. So my CPU can do virtualization. That's all I need. Now I just need to actually install the Windows Sandbox feature on this system. There's a number of ways to do this. I think the easiest is to go to the Windows search bar and type in Control Panel. And I start typing it, and here it is. Control Panel is being slowly replaced by the Settings app under Windows, but it's still available and still has a lot of good functionality. Under the Control Panel, I'm going to go to Programs and Features. And in the upper left corner, I'll see Turn Windows Features on or off. And that's what I want. I click on that, and it brings up a dialog box asking for an admin password, since I'm running under a normal user account. So I'm going to enter my admin password. Which is what you would expect, since you don't normally want users adding and subtracting functionality from their system. Under Turn Windows Features on or off, I'm going to scroll all the way down to Windows Sandbox, and you'll see it here and see it's already checked, because I already installed it. If it's not installed, you'll see it's blank. Go ahead and click on it and click OK. And if you're installing it for the first time, it will then come up and say that you need to reboot your system. So go ahead and reboot, and when you come back up, you will have Windows Sandbox functionality. Now Windows Sandbox is ready to use. To get to it, I go to the Start menu, and under the Programs, I scroll all the way down to Windows Sandbox. And I click on it, and it launches Windows Sandbox running under Windows. And as you can see, it looks pretty much like another instance of Windows running under Windows. Now, there's a couple of different ways that I can use this. If there's software up on the web that I want to evaluate, Sandbox does provide web connectivity, and I have a copy of Microsoft Edge right here. So I can bring that up and use that to go to whatever websites or that I want to check out or download software. As an example, here's a website that I know well. I also have another way if I already have a file on my computer that I want to check out. If it's on my host system, I will go find a file. I'm going to bring up my File Explorer. And I'm going to go to Downloads and select a file here that I want to examine. I'm going to right-click on it and do a copy. I'm just going to use copy and paste functionality. Go back to Sandbox, right-click, and do paste. And there is a copy of the file. The original is still safe where it was, but I can now do anything I want to this file. I don't have to worry about it because it is a copy. So if whatever website or programs that you're examining don't play well with your computer, if it does turn out they have malware, it doesn't matter. When you click the Close button on Sandbox, you'll receive a warning that says, once Windows Sandbox is closed, all this content will be discarded and permanently lost, which is exactly what we want. I click OK, and Windows Sandbox is closed, and it just destroyed everything that I was looking at. So if there was malware in there, if I went to a website that was infected with malware, it doesn't matter. It was all just destroyed when I closed the Sandbox. So, this is a way to check out programs or websites without putting your computer in danger by using Windows Sandbox, available with Windows 10 and 11, Professional and Enterprise editions. This is Mike McLean.